This video is sponsored and color graded by Dehancer. Dehancer is your one-stop shop and solution for color grading, motion picture, and photography. Check out the link below and use the code SFEVANS to receive 10% off anything in their product line. Dude, a 21 to 24 millimeter lens is something that every photographer should have in their kit. Yeah, no, I think if you're thinking about buying one, like you're looking at one, you should already just pull the trigger. But I'm telling you, they can be challenging. Why? Because it's a freaking wide angle. What do you mean, why? That totally explains it, man. Amazing, brilliant, super descriptive. Can you elaborate a little bit more, maybe? Yeah, got it. Wide-angle lenses create challenges because they're inherently prone to distortion, like this, or this, and this. That was supposed to be a voiceover. Okay, here's the shots. But if you're aware of the issues, sometimes it can be used to create more dramatic effects if used right. There's a couple of other pitfalls to working with wide-angle lenses, but before we get into that, let's talk about a lens that is so good that if something doesn't go right with the shot, it's probably not the gear to blame. Today's video is about the Leica 21mm Super Elmar-M lens. Lens decisions for a Leica kit are not to be taken lightly, just because they cost so much. But if you've been following this channel, then you know that I'm a huge Leica gear fan. And this isn't bias, it's just simply based on facts and results that are real, which are hard to argue with. This lens has very low distortion for its focal length. But for context, when we're talking about an ultra wide, a 35 and a 28 are like standard wide angle lenses. Anything wider than 28 I would consider an ultra wide. This lens is described as having a similar characteristic to the Leica M 35mm Summilux FLE for contrast and amazing color accuracy, and I have to agree. Because of that, it feels really good on the M body, and it weighs in at just over 260 grams. I also love that this lens accepts 46mm filters, which is great, meaning I don't have to carry around a bunch of different filters in my bag. So what's cool about this lens, and why did I get one? No, think about this. It's one of those lenses that you're not gonna have on your camera all the time. In fact, it's the least used lens of the 4 lenses I have for my Leica M kit. No, it's the least used lens on my Leica M kit out of the 4 lenses I have. Why do I have it? Because it's a lens that's super fun to play with. It's a lens you don't need until you need it for that one shot. The first thought that comes to mind is weddings. It's also amazing for architecture and street and travel photography. Yes, I mean, if I didn't have the 21 in the bag, I could always like snap a series of shots and then like stitch them together in post, but it's never as easy as like having an ultra wide for that one shot that you need anyways. You said there's other things to worry about with an ultra wide. Oh, yeah. So there's the challenge with composition because like so much comes into frame with an ultra wide. You really have to be conscious of where you're pointing the lens. Otherwise, some shots can come off as disappointing because there's just too many distracting things in the frame. One of the biggest issues actually due to a wide angle lens, unless you have some like exotic ultra fast lens like the 21 Summilux, is unless you're really close to the subject shooting at a really fast aperture, you're gonna have a ton of depth of field. And without using certain techniques, your images are just gonna come off as looking really flat. The trick to dealing with that is building layers within your composition. So this technique, simply put, is using elements from like foreground, middle ground, and background to create this like larger sense of three-dimensionality. You don't want the foreground to be too distracting, otherwise it'll detract from your main subject. And you also want to consider using color tonalities to create more contrast or color contrast. Anyway, back to the 21 Super Elmar. Yeah, it's a great lens to have in the kit, man. No, it's not super fast, but it's incredibly sharp. I don't feel like you need that speed. I mean, if you've got the cash to go for the 21 Summilux, I mean, I know that has actually less distortion than the Super Elmar. Right. Sounds like you're thinking about the 21 Super Elmar. And yeah, for that price, its size, the performance, you can't beat it. I say pull the trigger. Call me back when you get it. I'd love to hear about it. Right on. Until next time.